When I lived in Denver, those Sundays, you could rob a bank.
Yeah.
You could stab
And you might
somebody.
have. That's part of it.
I'll never forget when I was in the mall.
Wait a second. I think you did have an issue there.
I had a couple of issues there.
You don't even go to Colorado anymore, right?
Yeah, I go to Denver.
Oh, you do?
I just can't go to Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle and parts of Oregon. Seattle and parts of Idaho, unknown. When I lived in Denver, I still remember when they played against the Cleveland Browns, the drive.
Right.
I was at the mall during the drive. And I'll never forget seeing everybody in the hallways watching TVs that Radio Shack had and stuff. And going, if I was going to rob this place, this is the time we'd do it. Nobody would care.
The funny thing is, I would say something like that. It's a joke. You say something like that, you're casing the place.
Let me explain something to you. The best thing in my future that happened is that they tore that mall down. When I tell you I sank that mall financially, I'm not lying to you. I went in there with 3 credit cards in the summer of '85 and threw the cards away and would still go back in there. I remember walking in that mall one day and they had a CD player, Radio Shack, without a box, like a
display unit? Yeah.
Display unit. And the guys were all the way in the back talking. And I go, you know what? I could use a CD player in my house. I'll never forget unplugging it and just wrapping it and walking out of the fucking mall. Like still walking 30 yards to the door and then going to my car. I destroyed that mall.
Oh, God.
The first time, then I got a job at Foot Locker.
You got a job
At the mall after I ruined it with credit cards. And the cops came. They go, you fit the description. Somebody in the ice cream court said you used a credit card there. I'm like, you're going to have to prove it. There was no cameras back then.
Right.
So they kept coming back.
So you're wearing the referee jersey?
Foot Locker, like an asshole that I was. I applied for the job in June. They called me in August.
Okay.
And then and then the cops came in there like, we want to arrest you. They talked to me like 3 times. And they wanted me to cop to it, and I wouldn't cop to it.
So in 2 months, you destroyed the mall. That's
in
it.
2 months, I destroyed that fucking mall. And then I went back for more. And then I went to Aspen, then back to Boulder. And then I was taking classes at the University of Colorado. And they would buy anything up on them. It's called the U District. The U District is in Seattle. This was called, I forget what Boulder Hill or what, the Hill. The Hill is 3 blocks, gyms, Mexican restaurants.
Right.
Everything is catered to kids. Pizza place, movie theater, 18 and over bar, that type of shit. But they would buy anything because college kids got broke.
Right.
So you could bring anything. So I had the scam at Sears. The door was right by the music department. Was right by the door. I would park right there and just walk in. And every day I would take the Bruce Springsteen 4-package collection. It was like the hit of this. It was $99, like $89 for a Bruce Springsteen box. He's on the cover with a guitar in his hand. How do I remember? Because Bruce Springsteen put a lot of money in my pocket that year. They would displays of Bruce Springsteen 5 at a time, and I would pick them up and walk out there. And I would go right to the Hill, get my $200, and then I would go eat like a fucking sandwich or something. It was destruction. But then I was out on bail in the kidnapping case. And I was running out of money. And I go, you know what? I'm going to go back up to the CD store. So I started robbing them every other day. This went on for about a week or two.
Not many people can just say that sentence. I started robbing them
I would go to the CD store every other day. I didn't want to be a fucking pig. And go every day and rob them. Why would I
Regulate
do
yourself.
That? I had to go like every 2 or 3 days.
Monday, Wednesday,
Then there was a
Friday.
student center. I was tormenting them. Because they would buy books secondhand, and I would just pick up a stack of books. I wouldn't even walk in the front door. I just bring them up, and I go, my mother got me these, but I already got them. She just wasn't thinking. And they go, do you want cash or a check? You know what? I don't need the cash, but I'll take it. And they would give me back the money for the books plus tax.
What's it like to not have a conscience?
It's tremendous.
That's the greatest life. Your life is incredible until you get caught. But then you have the stories.
What is it that you want me to do to change that? Like, that's why it pisses me off that people go after governors for putting blackface on, or the chief fucking judge because he covered some chick's mouth in 1982. You got nowhere to go. So if he would have came out and said, yeah, in 1982 I choked the girl at a party, he would have he wouldn't have to deal with that.
I don't know if it works in politics the same way.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Because it works in life that way. If you don't say it, if I get it out first, you got nowhere to go.
That helps. That can help.
You got nowhere to go. 8 Mile. When he goes, what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do when he goose on you about the girl? He goes, if you put it out there first, he's got nowhere to go.
Right. Yeah, because it diffuses the situation. Trump does that a lot. You watch Trump; he'll be like, "I did this," and he'll put a little spin on it to make it his way. It happened. There was a lot. It was not my problem. And then people are like, "Yeah, he did it. So what?"
It's not who I am today, but thinking back at who that person was that would be out on bail for kidnapping, and would go every other day to either the student center. Like one day, I went to the student center, had a watch rack with watches, Timex, whatever the fuck. I picked up the whole thing and put it on my shoulder like a body in Vietnam, and I just walked out. If you're going to let me rob and you're not going to pay attention to me, I got to rob you in those days. I was that nuts in Boulder.
Yeah, that's crazy, but then, you're getting away with it, so why would you stop?
Getting away, I would control myself.
Yeah, sound like it. That's not controlling yourself. What do you think controlling yourself is?
Dog, I would rob 24/7 if you. I remember when double espresso machines came out in '95. I was a struggling comic.
I don't even hold on. Let me digest this. Because you're going into stories about stealing 24/7, and then I remember when double espressos came out.
Because I had control before I got arrested. And went to prison. I had no control. Like that's when I got caught. So I'm out on bail for the kidnapping. I get caught with like 85 fucking CDs, and they chase me like a little black guy in a golf cart and a little white skinny guy. Like, come back! And I'm running, throwing CDs back at me, shit, trying to throw them off.
Like you're a superhero.
Oh my god! And they got me. The cops finally got me, and I gave them a fake name. They arrested me, and I processed. Now I had just been in there for a month waiting to get bail. Every cop knew Joey. I went in there as Jimmy, and they're fingerprinting me, and I'm like, "How you doing?" Like, Joey, how you? And I'm looking at the fingerprint card. It's like Jimmy, whatever. And I'm like, "These guys, if you're gonna be that stupid," and then I went back to court as that guy. I pled guilty, and I got community service, and I did the community service. Years later, I found out. Boulder found out you used a different name. But what are they gonna do? You did the community service. You paid the fine. Crazy shit. That you wouldn't even, now you can't get away with.
I was going to say, now there's no way.
Cannot get away
because
with
that's
that.
all electronic and stuff like that.
Now you can't get away with that.
But that's, I mean, you make me want to go back in time and start robbing people.
And then in those days, remember when Frank Caliendo put his fingerprints down? NCIS was so slow.
Right.
3 weeks before your records came back. So you could sit in county for 2 weeks with a murder, no one, working your bail, and get out before the NCIS come out back on you. Yeah. The NCIS wouldn't come back on you for fucking 3 fucking weeks. That's how slow it was then. So I could use fake names. I could do all this shit because by the time they figured out who the fuck I really was, I was gone. I was on a Greyhound bus to the next city.
So what did you do with the espresso machines?
Well, the espresso machines, I had control. The espresso machines were $450.
You keep saying you have control. I mean, is this you telling us, or are you trying to convince yourself?
Me, I don't give a fuck. It was 25 years ago.
Yeah, well, right. No, yeah.
It was 25 years ago. I was 95.
I forgot the double espresso machines are how this story started.
It was $450 for an espresso, coffee, cappuccino machine. All these assholes on sale for $350. I'm walking into those stores, just picking up the thing. I wasn't even walking out of the store, frankly. How sad is that? I would just go into customer service and go, "How you doing? My mother got me this for Christmas." What the fuck? And they go, "Okay."
It's always somebody giving you something.
That's the only way you could sell it.
That's how you do it.
What do you think? I was walking down the street.
I don't have a gift receipt, but
then I got to the point where I'd hang out in front of Kmart. This is when you're a fucking real piece of shit. I'd hang out in front of Kmart on windy days and wait for people's receipts to fly off. And one day I'm looking at this guy in a cart pushing 2x4s and 2x6s and 2x12s, but on top he's got a lawnmower. And he's pushing, it's windy out, and all of a sudden the receipt flew out. I go over, I pick it up, I look, the lawnmower's $450. So I walk into the fucking Kmart, they got no more lawnmowers. I go, fuck it. I went out to Longmont, Colorado, 30 miles away, went to a Kmart in there, they had the thing. The best was, I went back and I gave the Mexican kid a 10. Bring this up to the counter for me. He brought it up to the counter, and I told the lady, "How you doing? My mother gave me this. It's the wrong one." This time I had a receipt. This time they had nowhere to go. No, I'm telling you, I bought the. Why didn't you go back to Boulder? I go, I didn't want to drive. I live here.
I left this here,
and they give me the money back.
I can't.
It's, and I was doing 3 or 4 of those espresso machines a day. Like on the way to Denver Comedy Works.
You needed the espresso.
I would stop.
to stay.
I would stop in Westminster. I'd stop in the Denver Mall. I would show up at the Comedy Works with $1,200 in my pocket. On the way there, the Comedy Works open mic started at 8. I'd leave my house at 6 and stop in Bloomfield, Westminster.